Well, since it's July 4th and our Independence Day, I figured we'd have some fun and take a look at 7 of the coolest fixed blades and 7 of the coolest pocket knives that I own that are USA made. Well, happy Independence Day to you all, regardless if you are from the US or not. And really excited today just to have some fun. This is purely just a fun video. It popped in my mind, you know what? I was like, this would be a good time. I have all kinds of fixed blades, pocket knives from all over the world, created and made and designed everywhere and anywhere. But today, I just want to have some fun. I looked at the coolest. So these aren't like the most practical all the time. These aren't like the best value. There's none of that. It's just like, what is cool? What connects with me of my collection that is USA made? I just want to share that with you, and it just happens that we have 7 pocket knives and we have 7 fixed blades. Now, with this little game we're playing here, I got to share each blade with you in under a minute. I can't take longer than that, so that's my goal with each one that I share with you, just telling you why I like it, why it's cool, and why it connects with me on that cool factor. That's what we're looking at, is the coolness of the blade today. But I also want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What are the coolest USA made pocket knives or fixed blades that you own? I want to hear that in the comments. Share the conversation. Let's have some fun together today and get to it. Well, when we're talking about cool factor in the US when it comes to blades, you cannot start out a list like this without a Bowie knife. And so I wanted to show you guys my SP10 Raider 1095 USA made, about 50 bucks. This thing is a monster, super well balanced, feels fantastic in the hand. You can use this as a ginormous combat knife, a compact machete, a wood splitter, a major chopper, and can defend against some sort of personal defense, you know, that you might need to be putting a knife through. It can do all of that and at a great price point, but a very capable package as well. So I love the SP10 Raider. Man, this thing is a blast, tons of fun, and one of the coolest knives I own. Next up, you're gonna get a 2-for-1 with the Buck 112, regardless if you go with the very classic wood handle, bronze, or brass bolsters, 420 high carbon, or you go with their new slim series with the pocket clip, polymer handles, thumb studs that are attached. Either way you go, the 112 for me is just the perfect blend of being compact, but very EDCable, but very good performing. And again, gives you those clips, those Bowie kind of shaped designs on these knives. This is very iconic in the US here and goes way, way back. And one of the best first locking pocket knives really that the US produced, and that was in mass production back in the 60s when this original design first dropped. Couldn't have a cool list without the Dark Timber 1911 Elite. This is the mid-tech version. Man, is this thing a sick blade. Not only USA made, premium quality, premium materials, awesome, feels like a custom. And I own some of Dark Timber's custom blades, and this thing, it's hard to tell the difference except for some of the hammer marks and a few of the other things that you might see. This thing is so comfy in the hand and a great performer, and just looks beautiful doing it, and made right here in the USA just makes it that's like the cherry on top, man. I mean, this thing, wow. If you own one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this bad boy right here, the Hogue EX-03. Now, a lot of different options that you can go with. They have higher end premium versions. This is more of the budget friendly version. You can get 4-inch, you can get 3.5-inch, you can get auto, manual. There's lots in this design, but it's going to be USA made. Great full handle. Even if you go with the manual, you're still going to get the plunge lock system with a safety, super smooth deployment. And what I love about it on top of all that is this really cool broad blade. The blade is very broad and has that nice swedge up there, just making it a very usable, very functional, but very, I don't know, precision tool at the same time. And it connects with me because of all those things flowing together, particularly that action. And you can, again, get it in so many options, size differences, handle variations, and opening features, auto or manual. It's just so cool to have all those options in one package made here in the USA. Next up, one of the best do-everything packages you can find. I love the Gerber Strong Arm. Swear by this knife. This is the one that was thrown in the gauntlet those few years ago. Went to, I believe, almost a dozen YouTubers. Everyone tried to break it. Nobody could and kept on kicking. USA made. It's simple. It's effective. You can use it as absolutely a combat knife, but you can also take it in the backcountry as a hiker, backpacker, camper, and get a lot of functionality out of it with a great modular sheath. I mean, the whole package coming together is just super, super impressive to me. 90-degree spine, ergonomics that work not only for extended woodscraft, but also give you enough traction and guards and those type of things to put on an LBE system and, you know, go into a hot zone and know that you have a reliable tool on you that's nearly indestructible. And I just love fully integrated systems that work, and the Gerber Strong Arm just works. One of the few knives that just feels like an actual pocket sword, a mini mace that William Wallace would be carrying in his pocket. The 06 Auto from Gerber as well. Man, love this thing. Not only do you get S30V steel with premium materials, aluminum, all that great auto feature with the safety, but the handle, I mean, just look at that thing. And this thing weighs almost 7 ounces. I believe it's like 6.5 ounces. I mean, this thing is a beast. It weighs almost the same as that Gerber Strong Arm I just showed you, but gives me the similar lockup and a great blade profile with a rock solid blade and lockup. So I have not only, again, premium materials going for me in a pocket knife feature, I feel like I got this like little sword with me when I whip this thing out, and it's strong as a little sword, it feels like, and everything that I've seen and used all for years with this design. It is an awesome, awesome blade. I love it, and is absolutely ultra, ultra cool. So folks, I own about a dozen Tops knives, all made in the USA, which is awesome. But when I look at my entire collection of Tops in particular, what is the coolest Tops knife that I own? It's an easy pick. It's the Prather War Bowie. This thing is a T-Rex claw of a Bowie knife, but is actually nimble enough, agile enough to be used in a self-defense role, but also capable enough with that huge sweep, great thickness, and again, the good balance to be used as a great field knife as well. I can baton, I can chop, I can carve, whittle, I can food prep, I can do all those things with this epic, epic blade. And so this is one of my favorite, coolest USA-made knives, the Prather, I believe it's Prather War Bowie. You know you got a T-Rex claw on your hip when you're rocking this Bowie knife. I just have to do a super quick shout out to AZ Welke, killing it, making this knife even better to carry with their custom Kydex. I will have links below for you guys if you're looking for a custom Kydex over to AZ Welke. They do awesome work. I have no idea how I'm doing on time here. I'm trying to keep it under a minute. Hopefully it is. I'm sure some of you guys are going to critique me if I didn't keep it under a minute with some of these. But another cool blade is the Benchmade Mini Crooked River, and the whole Crooked River line, honestly, is just super, super cool. And I don't know if you guys are picking up a trend here. Clips, swedges, Bowie clips. I mean, you're just seeing this type of style over and over again. It is definitely a feel of America when you have that on a blade. And I used to not be a super big fan of this type of blade design, but in the last 2-3 years, and I absolutely give all credit to my buddy Peter Kohler, who convinced me and showed me that just how cool but still functional a clip blade is. But this is so sick. The handle looking like that wood, that dye wood, aluminum handles, the little orange offsets, S30V steel, great edge geometry, that axis lock. It just feels so cool, but it performs. I mean, the cool factor is part of it, but the performance adds to it, and it's just awesome. I love every aspect of it in that way, and I just feel so Americana, I guess. I guess that would be a good way to say that when I am EDCing this blade in my pocket. It just feels like America, and particularly old school backwoods America, and I love that. Guys, I will take just a brief time out here just to thank you and tell you that we always appreciate it when you guys use the hyperlinks that we offer to you below. All the knives that we're talking about today will be in those hyperlinks over to GP Knives, Blade HQ, Amazon. And don't forget about those other links that we offer to you week in, week out over to backcountry.com, mysteryranch.com, and Knockaround Sunglass Company as well. So we just appreciate it when you guys purchase through those links. Thanks so much. Nothing says cool like a Guardian design from Bradford Knives. Check that thing out, guys. Years ago, when I first saw these, I had to pick one up because it was just so cool looking, so different. And it functions and it works. And I love that aspect of this blade and just the whole Bradford line that has these kind of transitions and cutouts that make it very distinct in a knife world that has pretty much the similar lines. You know, it's pretty tricky to find a knife that has very unique lines and characteristics in this day and age. They all have a pretty similar profile. This one definitely stands out from the crowd, but you're still getting premium materials, of course, USA made, and you're getting a very unique ergo design that really just works. And I love that aspect and just makes it ultra cool in my collection of fixed blades. Coming in hot with another auto, the Kershaw Launch 5 Emerson auto. This is in their Launch series, USA made, aluminum handles, CPM 154. What I love about this, and we actually just did a video on my first Emerson, and sadly, it's not going to be in this video for a couple reasons. It's cool, but not quite as cool as this knife because this has all the capability of like a self-defense tool, but all of the performance of an everyday carry tool. It slices like none other, even though it's giving me great ergonomics, great lock-in for those more, you know, tactical, quote unquote, applications that may be out there. I just have such great lockup, but I don't sacrifice anything in the performance and being able to do finer cutting and food prep and all that, and has a great action. Boom, it's gonna hit a great price point between like $100 and $120. Just depends on who, what, when, where, why. Lots of color combinations. Kershaw does a great job with this bad boy, and you get the kind of the feel of an Emerson because it is a partnership with Emerson, but you don't get some of the quirky goofiness of an Emerson. So cool factor, absolutely, and is one of the coolest autos that I own, and it's USA made. When you drop the name K-Bar, that's synonymous with USA made. I mean, K-Bar was the blade issued to the US military in World War II, and they do have one of the most iconic knives out there. Now that knife is cool, but if you were to ask me of all my K-Bars, what is the coolest? It's my tricked out BK2. We did an update video for you guys a few months ago on this thing. What I love about this and why I just can't get rid of it is that it is this little bulldozer of a knife. At about 1 pound and 5 inches, it's compact, heavy, beefy, but indestructible, but still has the edge geometry to be able to do a lot of work for you. It's not just a sharpened pry bar that's just for beating up on stuff. I mean, I can get the finer stuff done with this knife if I want to, and it's seen so much love. It's just cool. Every time I pull it out, it's cool. And people who maybe aren't really into knives, when I bust it out, they're like, whoa, what the heck kind of knife is that? That is awesome. I've never seen a knife like that. You know, they're used to, say, the classic K-bars and, you know, kitchenware and a few, you know, like buck hunting knives. I mean, that's their experience. You bust this thing out, cool factor immediately goes up. When I think cool, one of the blades that comes to my mind is my S30V Kershaw Blur. There's a reason this thing has been iconic for, I believe, over a decade, and people have always gravitated to it and love it. Look at those angles and transitions with a massive belly. Again, that little bit of a swedge just gives it that aesthetic coolness, and that rubberized traction kind of stands out from a lot of other blades out there. And it was one of the first knives to really give you a little bit of a different feel, transitioned scalloped thumb studs. Now that's a pretty, you know, standard thing you'll see in a lot of designs out on the market these days. But back in the day, man, was this thing ultra cool. You busted this out to a buddy, handed it to him, they're like, whoa man, what blade is that? I want to get my hands on one of those. So I've always loved, because of the cool factor of the speed and the ergonomics and the performance of my Blur, and particularly in the S30V, because it does have a little bit of a stronger tip. Just FYI, the tip of the blade's a little thicker, so it has a little bit more capability in that regard. That's why I went with the S30V and not the Sandvik. Here we go, guys, coming to the end, and it's an SE knife. But it's not the knife that you probably think it is. Though the SE6 is a super cool blade, when I think of cool, the one that comes to mind of the SE knives whoosh, is the SE Hungless full size. The beast of beasts, ergonomics out the wazoo, lifetime warranty, $10.95. It's simple, but it works, man. And regardless of what you may need to do, regardless if it's, you know, working on a little thing, making a little feather stick, or hacking down the forest, or splitting firewood, or anything in between, I've always seen this thing as something that I can not only rely on, but just feel cool doing it. I feel like a mountain man when I got this thing strapped to my hip or pack, or when I'm working it at a campsite. It just works for me, guys. I mean, it is just ultra cool, and it's seen years of use here in my life. And not only do I feel that cool factor, but it partners with me as a reliable tool that I can just use and use and use and know it's gonna work for me. Last but not least, and if you've been watching the channel for a while, the last pocket knife I'm gonna hit with you today, you might know what I'm gonna pop up here. The Spyderco Mannix-Lightweight. Now, I happen to have this in a Maximate version. Love that. I have yet to have to put this to a diamond stone. I've only had to tune it up once or twice with a ceramic rod, just barely. This thing holds an edge forever. But the guys, this is what's so cool, is that it literally says Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. All of that, I mean, that's just awesome, because not only is it made here in the US, it's made in my own home state. Love it. And man, it's just such a cool functional blade. I love the action on it. It's so cool. Super fast. It's so lightweight, but it's a pretty beefy knife, you know, in its handle size, real estate blade. You know, it's not this little tiny thing, but it comes in at about 3 ounces. So you don't even know you're carrying this little bad boy. Has one of my favorite pocket clips right there for you. And man, there's so many options that they have in the lightweight, but you can also get the Mannix G10 version as well if you want something a little beefier. But guys, wow, for USA made, I think it's still my top dog for pocket knives. And it's always held a special level of cool factor for me. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope that you've enjoyed this list. It's been fun and entertaining and prompted your mind to start working and gear start going, because I want to hear from you again. Throw your comments below, your coolest USA made blades that you personally own. And if you don't own one, what's one maybe that you want to pick up and begin to use because you think it's just that cool? Love to hear from you guys. We always appreciate it when you come over here week in, week out. You guys are awesome. I hope you have an amazing Independence Day. I challenge you as well. You can go on YouTube or just to read it, listen to the Declaration of Independence. What it says, the words that have been spoken are so meaningful and breathed life into this nation here in America that has had such, I believe, an amazing presence on the world stage and in this world, and has affected good in this world. So guys, that's me. That's my list. Look forward to hearing you guys' comments below. Hope you've enjoyed it. Check out Instagram, Facebook, all the social media. Follow along there as well. We invite you to subscribe. Check out some of the other videos we got going on. We throw up videos every single week. And as always, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.